guys, Dan here. Today we are going to talk about Fatbells. Fatbells. They are kettlebells with the handles on the inside. Isn't that fancy? So, they are cool. They're used for a lot of things. Basically, when they started, they were being marketed as like a kettlebell replacement. So you can do, like kettlebell cleans, kettlebell snatches, all the kettlebell things that you do with kettlebells, but you could do them in a way that takes a lot of the technical pieces out of it. So like when you're doing that kettlebell snatch, if you're not getting that punch through, your timing's wrong, you'll get kind of that chop, right? And these will allow you to not get that chop, which is very cool. But is the juice worth the monetary squeeze? Apparently, originally, no. So now if you look at their marketing, they do mention the kettlebell things, but when you look at reviews on them, when you look at kind of their marketing, it focuses a lot more on how all the weight is equidistant from your hand. And what that's supposed to do is reduce the shearing force on your joints, allow you to press more weight. People have also talked about there being more of a muscle pump with these compared to normal dumbbells. And I can say that muscle pump piece is definitely true. But I am not sure it has anything to do with just the globe being around you a little better. I think it has a lot more to do to the range of motion being so much more reduced with this compared to normal dumbbell. So this is a 35-pound Fatbell. It is not very wide. Compared to a 35-pound dumbbell that is considerably wider. When you're doing things like tape presses, you're going to stop the motion here, whereas with the Fatbells, you'll be able to go a little further. Same thing with like any kind of rollback movement. There's just better range of motion because the weight is all the way around your hand. It can be more compact. And I think that is the main reason people are seeing a better muscle pump. Just because there's more muscle, there's more range of motion happening, there's more muscle activation happening, so of course you're gonna get a better pump. Now, that's a good thing. But is that a $3 per pound level good thing or not is an interesting question. So I'm going to run some B-roll here that has basically just like the price list of them. And these are per bell, not per pair. The only other company that makes things like this are Sornex with their center mass dumbbell, which we'll talk about that a little bit as well. Pricing is going to be just as bad, actually a little bit more pricier from Sornex than from Rogue because they're using ductile iron, which is a little more resilient than cast iron, though I'm not sure that would actually matter. So, difference between the Rogue and the Sornex. The Rogue Fatbells, this is my 53-pounder, the bottom is closed. So what that does is put more weight all the way around the hand, right, which is their claim to fame. So in theory, that's better than the Sornex ones that have a hole in the middle. Now when you get to the lighter ones, I think the 18, 13, 9 on the Fatbells, I think you run into that as well, where they have the hole all the way through, so it's more of a cylinder. But that's a slight difference between the two of them. Now, because Sornex has that hole all the way through them, their bells themselves actually end up being a little wider. So to me, the thing that makes these most advantageous compared to a dumbbell is the reduced size, so the increased range of motion. So when you're going with a Sornex, they're thicker, there's less of that decrease of size and less of that increase of range of motion that you might have been going for. So if you are looking for the best pump, the best muscle range of motion movement type things, the Rogue's going to be better than the Sornex because they're slightly more compact. Things about the Sornex that I like and the Rogues that I don't love. So originally when these were first conceptualized and came out with by Thompson, they were a kettlebell replacement essentially, right? So at that time, like 2012-ish, don't quote me, but somewhere around there, kettlebells, you had the 26s, the 35s, the 44s, the 53s, the 70s, the 88s, the 106s, and the 124s. And they've since kind of gotten a little more differentiated than that, but it's those similar jumps. So the Rogue kettlebell jumps are the same as the Rogue Fatbell jumps, which means you're looking at like an 8-ish pound jump for most of them, which means that is a pretty big jump on dumbbells. That's 8 pounds per hand, which is a 16-pound jump. So you may have to like mess around with getting a lot more reps before you can go up to the next set, compared to Sorenex bells, which are in 5-pound jumps. Now, the way around that is plate mates. So I have a set of 1.25 plate mates, I have a set of 2.5 plate mates, and I have some homemade 5-pound plate mates that I did using like standard weight plates with some magnets and then some Line-X and some super glue. It's the whole thing. But that does allow you to take smaller jumps, which is cool, but then also you're losing that spherical shape, because if you're stacking like a 5 and a 1 1/4 on there, it's boop, boop, it's just janked up a little bit. That can be an issue. So Fatbells, all in all, very cool. They look very cool. They kind of replace a kettlebell if you're someone who doesn't want to ever actually get good at kettlebells. But if you're using these for kettlebell work, you probably have some interest in kettlebells, so you should just get kettlebells. And I feel like that's kind of where the marketing figured it out, because they were originally, as I said, pushing toward the kettlebell market. But if you're someone who wants to get good at kettlebells, you want to get good at kettlebells, not round dumbbells. Their niche now is definitely on the reducing shearing force, better muscle pump, a better version of a dumbbell essentially. Now, if they want that to be what these are for Rogue Fitness, then they need to go 5-pound increments like Sorenex did. I think that would be what you would have to do to make it more marketable to people for a dumbbell replacement. You do have the workaround, but if you are in a home gym space and you just love these, you just really want them, I get it. That's what I did. I purchased 35s through 97s, but I'm actually now selling them for this reason. There's a couple things. 1, 8-pound jumps are annoying. 2, I do dumbbell work for compound movements, like we're talking RDLs, we're talking bench, incline bench, rows. I have up to the 97s. That does not get me what I need for any of those movements. I could overhead press them for like sets of 10 would be a good weight for it, but anything other than that, it's not great. And I don't have the smaller ones, so if I'm doing like external rotation work, or if I'm doing, you know, lateral raises and stuff, like the 35s, 44s, 53s work fine. But there's a lot of no man's land hanging out in there. They're very cool. I enjoy using them, but my issue is they go heavier than 97. But the next jump is 106, which is okay. I can get a 106s. That would get some use out of it. I was doing sets of 15 with 112 dumbbells last week on incline, and I would love something heavier than a 97 kettlebell or a Fatbell. Now the problem is, after you get to that 106, the next jump is 124. And then the next jump after that is 150. Though those look super cool and super impressive, they'd be really fun, it's just too big of a jump. It's not good to do an 18-pound jump per hand. It's not good to do, you know, another 20-pound jump per hand to get to the 150s. They need more increments in general, and then if they want bigger, stronger people to use them, they need more increments in the heavier weights as well. Again, Sorenex has done this, 5-pound increments all the way to 100, but even then, some of us need more than 100 to make use of these things. So I cannot recommend these for me personally, and for the home gym space, I just think there's better options. Something like the Pepin Fast Series dumbbell, you know, you can go 10 to 120 real quick. You can get a fixed set of dumbbells. So I have 35s, 44s, 53s, 62s, 70s, 80s, 88s, 97s. I have 8 pairs of dumbbells. Cost me over $2,000. You can get 5s to 100s for about $2,000 in fixed weight dumbbells if you wanted to. So if you really, really are in love with the novelty of these, pull the trigger. If you're not, then you can spend $3 a pound lots of other places and probably have a lot more going for you than that. That is my opinion on Fatbells and the Sornex center mass dumbbells in general. I get why they're priced how they are. Making them is definitely not the same as making other types of equipment. The demand for them isn't super high, so they're not pushing a lot of volume, so that price is gonna stay high, which sucks, but it is what it is. They're very cool. I get why you'd like them. I get why I like them, but probably not recommended for basically anyone. Let me know what you think in the comments. We, of course, have affiliate links below. Rogue hates me for whatever reason, so they do not have an affiliate link for me, but I'll link these there anyway, just out of the kindness of my heart. Be sure to check out the rest of our reviews. Check out the channel. Let me know what other content you're wanting here. I've been doing a lot of reviews recently, but I have a lot of programming and lifting knowledge too. Thinking about sprinkling some of those out here, maybe once a week as well. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe, like the video, help the channel. I'll catch y'all later.